Hello everyone, welcome to Anthos Learno. In today's video lesson, we are going to talk about major themes of Iliad. Iliad as an epic poem has many major themes such as rage, honor, weight, war, fate, mortality, and divine intervention. In today's video, we will explore all these themes and we will see the examples that are seen in the epic poem. So let's begin. The Iliad actually explores the major themes that we discussed just now, and the Achilles' wrath and Hector's duty are some of the words, and they are the vivid examples which shows that actually the fate, mortality, and different themes in the epic poem. So, first of all, we have the rage. Now, in the opening lines of the epic poem, we see that it has been started with the sing the goddess the rage of Achilles. His honor, his anger at Agamemnon and dishonoring him drives the plot. So basically, we see that the starting line of the epic poem starts with these lines, which is showing the rage of Achilles. So rage is the major theme here. The impact which is seen with this line is that Achilles withdraws from the battle and leading the Greek to loss. And we see that the grief and the Patroclus' death and the Hector's brutal killing all as an impact and as a result of Achilles' wrath, because due to the death of the Patroclus, his beloved friend, we see that he kills Hector and he ties his dead body to his chariot and drags his dead body towards his camp. So basically we see the impact of the rage here. And if we talk about analysis, the rage is both destructive as well as transformative. So in your answer writing of this question, where the examiner asks you about the different themes that is being discussed in Iliad, so you can write a very good example of rage, honor, and all these major themes which is seen clearly in the epic poem. Now it isolates the Achilles but forces him to confront mortality and compassion. Now rage is destructive as well as transformative. So if we go into the deep analysis of rage, we will see that it has done very destructive thing in the epic. Like we see the Hector's brutal killing actually, and then after when he kills Hector and when the Priam comes to Achilles and asks for his son's dead body to give him a proper burial, he feels Achilles actually feels the grief and his love for his son, and finally it makes him feel the compassion and mortality, and he confronts it later. So basically rage is both destructive as well as transformative. I hope it is very clear to you. You can elaborate this particular point in your answer, and it will really enhance your answer and will let you score very good marks. Talking about the second major theme, we have the honor and the glory. Talking about the honor and glory, we actually call it kelos. Now basically Hector fights despite knowing that Troy will fall. Now we know that Hector was fighting against Greeks, so he knew that his brother, who was Paris, has done wrong, and finally he also knows that Troy will fall. But even knowing the truth, he was fighting for his nation. He was fighting as a brave warrior. So basically this shows that honor demands, and he defends his city. So because of his honor and because of his love for his city, his nation, he is fighting, and Achilles chooses a short life and with eternal glory over a long obscure one. Now Achilles also fights, and we see that honor and glory on both of the sides. Achilles fighting with Hector after the death of Patroclus, and Hector fighting for his nation against Achilles and the Greeks, shows the honor, shows the bravery that was the major theme and that was the major concern during that period of time in the Greek epic poems, and at that kind of time period. So basically what this shows exactly is that at that time actually the warrior doesn't think about their own life and their death, their mortality. They only think about the bravery, their honor, and their glory, because actually the epic poem shows that the mortality doesn't actually mean that that will cause you total loss, but actually it shows that it will immortalize a person, it will immortalize a being. So basically glory immortalizes heroes in memory. So at that period of time, at in these kinds of epic poems, we actually see that the honor and glory is much more being shown and as and seen as a major theme uh, of the epic poem. Talking about the analysis, the Iliad actually critiqued the obsession and the reputation, showing that how it drives men to sacrifice everything for remembrance. So basically, this is the deeper analysis of this particular theme, that honor and glory, and we actually see that the Iliad critiques the obsession with the reputation, because everyone is fighting. Like if we talk about Achilles, he is fighting for his nation. He is fighting against Troy because the Helen is abducted. So it can be seen as a good thing, because it can be seen as think of supporting a nation where something because someone has drawn to their king, because Menelaus' wife Helen has been abducted. So it can be justified. But if we talk about Hector, his fighting cannot be justified, because he knew that his brother has done wrong, and he also knew that finally Troy will lose the battle. Still he was fighting. Thus this actual the theme of glory and honor shows that the warrior were actually so much obsessed with their reputation that they don't even think that what is being done wrong and what is right. They actually fought for the reputation, their glory, their honor, and just to be always immortal in the memory of everyone. So this is the second theme of the epic poem. I hope it is very clear to you. You have to answer each and every point in your examination in a clear manner with giving examples and the impacts. This will enhance your answer much more and will let you score very good marks. Talking about the third major theme, which is war and violence. War and violence is seen and shown in the epic poem as a very important theme, because Homer's battle scenes are graphic, because piercing bodies, warriors stripped of armor, families grieving. So basically, all these scenes are graphic. They create images in the reader's mind that what was the brutal scene of the uh, actually the battle place. So basically, it is a graphic. They are as graphics. Basically, they are creating the scene in the reader's mind, and the impact which is this theme is showing is that war is shown both as providing ground for heroism and second the relentlessness cycle of the suffering, because war is seen as a ground for heroism. We see that Achilles is a great warrior. We see that Hector fought very well, and that's why his father is demanding a heroic burial for him. So we see that the heroism is being portrayed in the epic poem. But apart from that, we see that Hector's wife is grieving for his husband's death. His sons are grieving for his father's death. So basically, we see that the impact of war is providing both sides. It is showing the heroism on the first side, and second side, it is showing the suffering of the people whose beloved are being killed in the war. So if we go into the deeper analysis of the third theme, that is war and violence, we see that the epic celebrates the bravery, but it also shows the devastation of the war, because the graphic scenes are used to show the people that how these wars destroys the life of the family of a warrior, and how it make the people grieve for their beloved ones. So basically, the war and violence analysis, we see that there are the two sides of a coin. One is seen as a bravery, and second is showing the devastation of the war. I hope the third point is very clear to you. Now, talking about the fourth theme, that is faith and mortality. Talking about the faith and mortality, we see that Hector accepts his death. That is inevitable, because Hector knew. As I always told you, as I told you before, that Hector knew already that he will die in the war, and he also knew that Troy will fall. So, despite knowing that Troy is doomed, Achilles knows his fate there and is sealed when he kills the Hector. So, basically, we see that Hector's death is inevitable, and he knew that he will die, and he knew that Troy will fall one day. But still, he was fighting. So, what does this show? This shows that the faith and mortality is shown here, because Hector is fighting. It doesn't mean actually that he didn't knew his fate. fate. So even after knowing his fate, he accepted that. He also accepted his mortality, and still decided to fight against Achilles. So this is the theme of the fate and mortality. And Hector also knew that his fate is sealed once he became face to face with Achilles, who was a great warrior. And when and when he died, the fate was already being fulfilled. Okay, talking about the impact, the mortals cannot escape destiny, no matter their choices. Now, mortals are the beings who die. We all are mortals, actually. So, talking about the theme and the impact, which is discussed in the epic poem, is that no matter what their choices are, they cannot escape their destiny. They have to die. They have to fulfill the fate. So, basically, the Iliad emphasizes on the human fragility. The hero seek kalos. Kalos means glory, and the compensation for the short lives, because they knew that they have to die one day. They cannot escape their fate, and they cannot escape the mortality. That's why they were looking for the a compensation for their short lives, that is kalos, that is their glory and their memorization in the people's mind as a brave warrior. So they are looking for the compensation of their short lives, because they knew that their fate and mortality cannot be escaped. So this is the major theme of the epic poem, because epics usually discuss all these themes of life, death, mortality, fate, destiny, divine intervention. Epic poems always use these kinds of theme in their works. So I hope that if you know slightly about the epics, you must be aware of these facts, and that is why this particular theme is being discussed so much in the epic poem. Talking about the fifth theme, which is the role of gods. Now we have Athena. Athena tricks Hector in facing Achilles, and Apollo aids Trojans, and Zeus balances fate and divine will. So we see that there is a slight comparison between the role of gods. If we see the epics or Indian epics, we see that the god does not intervene actually directly in the wars, but in the Greek epic poem, we actually see that the Greek gods usually intervene in the war, and they try to change the course of the war as well. So we see that how Athena tricks Hector, we see that how Apollo trades Trojans, and how Zeus tries to balance all the fate and divine will. So there are the role of gods that is shown in the epic poem. The gods try to manipulate the outcome, and reflecting their whims rather than justice. So the role of god actually reflecting the whims rather than they should be doing the justice. Now talking about the deeper analysis, the epic questions free will. Are humans responsible for their actions, or are actually they are the merely pawns of the divine interference? So basically the theme actually is not only reflecting about how the gods intervened in their war, but it is also asking a deeper question, deeper philosophical question to the readers, that actually can we say that humans are doing everything on their free will, or actually they are being used and they are being guided by the divine? So basically this is the deeper question that this particular theme is trying to ask you. I hope the all the important themes is clear to you. If you want a more detailed video on this particular epic poem, please let me know in the comment section below. And I hope that you like the video. If you do so, then please do subscribe to our channel. And secondly, so here is a summary table. Whatever we have discussed is given, so you can just go and read through it. And if you want a full PDF, then you just don't need to take screenshots. You can just go on to my Telegram channel, and you can just download from it. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for watching.